The man at the garden party could belong to any profession, but he definitely has a professional look. It's partly the preppy casuals he's wearing that create this impression. However, there's also something about his body language, his haircut and complexion, even the trim of his fingernails, or maybe the well bred neatness of his hands, that express small codes about his class. In any case, Torvald thinks he knows what to expect when the two of them end up in a conversation that is half analytical and half time killing, and the kind of discussion that constitutes so much social intercourse at bourgeois parties everywhere. It turns out the man is a dentist. This piques Torvald's interest. How do you feel about amalgam fillings? He asks. The dentist is in his mid-30s, only a year or two older than Torvald, and because of this, Torvald presumes that the dentist will be open to skepticism about the filling status quo. In what sense? The dentist asks. Well, in terms of a possible link to nerve damage. The dentist adopts the pose of a perfectly humanoid robot. Mercury amalgam fillings are utterly safe. There's no proven link between them and any health problem. Proven, Torvald says. Does that mean that therefore something doesn't exist? But almost at the same moment, the dentist is asking, what other standard would you use? And Torvald realizes he's taken the wrong tack. Torvald says phlegmatically, the toxicity of mercury has been well established. People are milling around on the lawn. The August sun is setting. Sunlight shines through the dark green leaves of the grapevines like natural laser beams. Torvald quickly glances at the other people in the garden. Some of them are friends of his uncle and aunt, but most are acquaintances of his cousin. What is it exactly you're concerned about? The dentist asks after a pause. Torvald can virtually hear the syllables of the sentence being turned into little chess pieces, objects being quietly moved with a tactical goal in mind. Well, MS above all, but other nerve disorders also. The dentist says, if amalgam fillings are such a problem, then how come so many people are walking around with them and are fine? Well, that's not exactly scientific, is it? How do you know they're in such great shape? Have you studied the epidemiology of, these diseases? The dentist looks stung. He eyes the food the table is kept on and begins to change his posture as he readies to extricate himself from this particular conversation. Torvald is tempted to become more aggressive, to launch into his, it shouldn't be called the Canadian Dental Association, it should be called the Criminal Dental Association tirade, when the dentist looks at him with a new expression. It's true that it's been proven that fillings emit vapors, but the amount of mercury that's absorbed from them is very small. Do you eat fish? Yeah, I love fish. How about tuna? Torvald hesitates, tabulating his recent seafood consumption. I don't eat so much of it. Well, tuna's loaded with mercury. If you're concerned about mercury consumption, then keep in mind that you're probably getting more of it from your environment than from your fillings. Torvald says in a tired voice, I've heard that argument before. Doctors use it with x-rays. The sun gives you more radiation, blah, 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 blah. I don't buy it. A lot of these toxins and environmental stresses, they're cumulative. The less you consume of them, the better. Well, there's some truth to that. But what else are you going to do? Amalgam is a beautifully durable material. I never said it wasn't. So, what have you got in your mouth? Mercury. So you've got amalgams. Do you know what the other options are? Sure, there's resins, gold. The dentist adopts a tone of chummy cynicism. Resins are crap. They're the rust bucket of filling material. You know that, don't you? Yeah, not only that, but they've been implicated as a cause of Parkinson's, I think. That's right. Any material you put in your mouth is constantly being absorbed into your system. Torvald looks at the dentist with a repressed, aghast expression. Great. The dentist realizes what he said. Look, there was one material that they were thinking of bringing on the market a few years ago. It was very tough and it was cheap, but it was shown there was a linkage with cancer in just a few cases, and so they suspended use of it. They really do care about the toxicity of materials, and if they've allowed amalgam for all this time, that must mean it's basically okay. The conversation has moved from chess to badminton. Then why not say the exact opposite? Why not argue that the CDA is so terrified of all the amalgam they've shoveled into people's mouths for all these years that they're petrified of the lawsuits they'd be faced with if there is even a peep of an admission of a link to nerve disease? What is it you're worried about exactly? Are you having fillings put in? I had them put in a long time ago, then I had them replaced, then I had them replaced again by those maniacs down at the U of T Faculty of Dentistry. Why do you call them maniacs? They're like the Red Guard of cavities. They've got all these cadres of young dental students who are super nice and want nothing more than to use your mouth for target practice. I'm sure they're not that bad. They are. Torvald feels himself getting emotional.